If you would like to access TalkAbility for the visually impaired, please visit our Facebook page.
Today we unpack everything relating to language and our capital D deaf community. According to the South African Disability Alliance, there are 4 categories within the deaf community. Those who identify as a capital case D describes a distinct group with its own cultural identity and language, using sign language as a first language. This minority group distinguishes themselves from the non-signing people who do not hear, who identifies themselves with a lowercase d. Our lowercase d community uses various means to communicate. The last 2 groups are our hard of hearing group and the hearing impaired community. We have a young lady with us today who identifies as a capital case D and is here to share her life and experiences with us. To translate for Kagiso, we have Dimakato Mutimele. Welcome to the show, Kagiso.
My name is Gabriel, as you mentioned, and this is my sign name in the deaf community. And yes, I am fully deaf.
Lapeng la heno mane, ko wena firstborn and o na le bana ba heno ba bang ba bararo. Empa ko wena fela a sa utlwing lapeng la heno. Ho la ba jwang hore o kgone ho adjusta family ya heno e sale e bona kaofela ba utlwa wena o sa utlwe le mong?
It was not difficult, hey, because ho na le signing structure. So nkana ka re mama, so, or say, si, or dijo, and they'll understand, right? So then sometimes they'll tabona mumlo mungki bona or bara bana ko ring, and then we'll try and communicate through oralism or nkana ka ba signela hanyane. You see, like ke batla dijo, I want food. It's a bit easier, but most of the time, ring, we put pen and paper and then try and communicate. My 2 sisters, they can sign beautifully, but the other family, they sign just a bit. I tell people that I'm not disabled. I am deaf, so I'm proud of my deafness. And I want to make my family know that I'm also equal to hearing people.
Apart from signing, wa khona ho lip reader?
Not well. I can a bit, but I'm not a good lip reader, just a bit. Because, people speak different languages. And people speak slowly, others speak fast, some speak Pedi and other languages. And you see, it does get a bit confusing there.
You actually, how no school, and you had to now find a school very far from home.
So it wasn't much of an issue because I stayed Kohammanskral school, right? And I knew that on Fridays when school was about to close, then I'd be able to visit my family. At school, it was much easier because I could be able to communicate with the deaf people there. But as soon as I got home, it was a bit of a challenge where I had to oralize a lot. There was a lot of issues in regards to my matric, but I had to make sure that I had to get my matric certificate because it was important for my future. Luckily, I could get my matric at Suzwile. After that, I then went to a college.
Well, education ya mang kapa mang lefatsheng e bohlokwa and ho tlamile re etse se seng le se seng hore re kgone ho fumana tse re batlang ho di etsa. Re ile ra ikopanya le Kagiso College mo a ntseng a qeta dithuto tsa hae tsa IT. Ha re shebeng mona.
Igama lami nginguKagiso Kekane. Ngizalwe ngi-deaf. The voice you are hearing now is of my friend Maria, who is interpreting what I'm signing at the moment. Ngizalelwe eLimpopo, ngize eGauteng 2012 ngizofunda. Ngihlala nomalume wami ekhaya. I am the eldest child of 4 kids. Abazali bami abakazi bafunde i-sign language. Ebebangakwazi ukucommunicate nami nge-sign language. Into beyisiza kakhulu ukuthi sisebenzise amaphepha sibhalelane, and then kwesinye isikhathi beba-voice sisayina izinto ezisimple, amanzi, ipapa, ukayina, into ezincane nje ezisimple kanjalo. Uma ngibona ukuthi sebakhohliwe, ebengibayeka ngoba ngiya-understanda isimo sasendlini. Engik-enjoy kakhulu ngokuba seGauteng kunama-deaf lamaningi la, and then ama-opportunities akhona maningi ukudlula emakhaya. Ngathola i-opportunity ukuthi ngihambe nge-college, and I really enjoy ukuba se-college. Bayangisiza kakhulu. I love ukuba yi-social worker. I want to work nabantu laba-deaf. Ngifuna ukubasiza abantu aba-deaf ukuthi bazimele. Uma u-deaf uhambile waye esikolweni, konke kuyenzeka. Example, sinamaphoyisa, sinama-police station, siney'bhedlela, sinakho konke. Angikaze ngabona umuntu odeaf asebenza lapha. So mina ngizobatshela ukuthi mele bafunde bakhona ukuyosebenza khona. I-challenge enkulu esinayo-ke thina njengabantu abadeaf ukuthi abantu aba-hearing bayasi-discriminate. Bacabanga ukuthi ukuba deaf ukugula nje okungalapheki. Bacabanga ukuthi thina asifani nabo. Into abanazo thina sinazo, sinawo amehlo, siyakhona ukubona yonke into nje siyakhona ukuyenza. Into esingakhoni-ke ukuyenza ukuzwa nokukhuluma. Into mina engenza ukuthi ngibe isolated sometimes ukuthi uma ngihamba endleleni abantu bazokubhekela phansi, abantu bazokubheka ukuthi yo mboneni muhle kanjani, bathi akakhulumi. Into esingathanda ukuyibona noma engingathanda ukuyibona i-change kule community esiphila kiyo ukuthi thina njengoba si-deaf siyafana sonke, sinakho konke abanakho. Into ehlukile nje ukuthi mina angikhulumi angizwe endlebeni. So singathanda thina ukuthi ngelinye ilanga sibabona bakhuluma nathi nge-sign language, bakhuluma nathi ngezandla njengoba nathi si-trya ukuba accommodate njengabantu abazwayo.
Ke a bona hore o bala IT mane sekolong. One of your passions ke ho ba social worker. How do you plan ho dikopanya yona le IT at some time bophelong ba hao?
Okay, with social working, right? My passion is social working because I want to help certain issues in the deaf community. So there are a lot of issues where deaf people need certain support. So maybe kids, bana as well, bana who are in the deaf community who want to learn sign language, right? Because they need that because it is their language and it is their culture as well. They need to learn sign language first so that they can develop their signing skills. So if a person is actually able to sign the whole time, then it would be easier for maybe an app that is easily able to see what the hearing person is saying and sign that, or the other way around, right? Then IT will be able to assist that person to know what certain words mean.
Hona le ntho e etsahetseng last year hore SASL it's a sign language, a home language. Yona ke ntho e o tshwarang jwang because it shows hore ke structures ke opportunity ya hore now sign language le yona e be language e ka ithutwang dikolong.
It's been officialized as a language in schools, but it's not really officialized as a South African, as a 12th official language. I don't know why not though.
Lebaka la hao e hlile lona le utlwahala hobane ke ntho empe haholo hore e nngwe ya dipuo tse le horeng di a sebediswa South Africa ha e soka e etswa an official South African language. Ka morakgefu re tla tseba ho holonyana ka kagiso le bophelo ba hae. Hona jwale re tlo ikopanya le mangwane wa hae e leng Mpho Murwa. Re ntse re buisana le kagiso e leng motho a sa utlwing ditsebeng. Mangwane wa hae o teng mona le rona. Yena bitso la hae ke Mpho Murwa. Re amohela TalkAbility mme.
Ka leboga.
Ka go re qoqele hantle kagiso yena hana hola a le monyane ne le ngwana jwang.
Wa utlwella, even though ngwana always ba ba naughty there and there, but she's a very good person yena wa utlwelela. Even though sometimes ne ba difficult to communicate le yena, but yena ke ngwana o right.
And ha tla qala hore jwale a ye sekolong o la tlameha hore a ye hole le hae. Ke mathata jwang e le reng o la ba le ona hana se a le hole le hae.
Even though ba go gopola gae, but nevertheless yena na le right le ko sekolong na performa right, but problem eno ba gore go ila bona o nna gole le gae and o na le situation e le gore like everybody wa gona go bua but wena ga gone go bua, but other than that wa just still very well, and then here we are right now.
Kagiso o la re o batla o bala IT ho lona hana qeta sekolo, and as a family what was your response and le la gona hore le mothuse jwang?
We went to a certain college where when we got there we were surprised okay fine ne ba amogela, but then we had to rena self re interpreter for her, of which we didn't understand now why didn't they have an interpreter for bana ba deaf, because we couldn't understand why ba ba kgetholagantšha bana ba ba deaf le ba ile gore ba utlwelela, because we thought gore ba tshwana. So with that being done, and then eventually we moved to another college where she was accepted, and then she did her IT there. Even right now, she's still doing it.
And for wena Kagiso, how did that impact on you, hore o ye to a school of your choice, o be accepted, and then ho thwe ha ono kgona ho kena ka baka la hore ho tlamehile jwale o itlele interpreter ya
It was a big challenge. It was a big challenge for Nna. And I felt very disappointed. Interpreters are expensive, fees are expensive. You see, I thought the college would pay for that. So now interpreter plus fees, then we decided, no, we had to look for a different college. And luckily I got accepted. So yes, I'm happy now. So we decided to move, and that college there was more helpful. There are good interpreters there, and the facilitators there can also sign, you see, a bit. So yes, I'm happy with where I am now at the college.
So tell me, is the college specifically for deaf people, or it's a general college where mainstream people also come through?
College is only for deaf people. It's a very small college, but it also other people can also come through, but mostly there's deaf people there.
Ho na le dintho tse ngata tse tswang setjhabeng sa batho ba sa utlwing ditsebeng tseo re sa di tsebeng, ha mmoho le maikutlo a fosahetseng a tswang setjhabeng. Gabriel o ile a fana ka maikutlo a hae ha re shebeng mona.
I'm Gabriel Hoffman, and I'm a manager within the Casual Day project. I also liaise with government departments, and I'm a financial assistant. I was born as a deaf person. I have many deaf people within my family. Perhaps there are only 5% of my family members that are hearing. I grew up using hearing aids. At the age of 20, I was involved in a car accident and I became completely deaf. The general public out there think that being deaf means you can't hear, you can't see, can't walk, and you are intellectually disabled. But they are wrong, because being deaf means you can't hear only. You can see, you can walk, and you can function equally in terms of intellectual capacity. You can just not hear, that's all. What deaf people need as reasonable accommodation is to have a South African Sign Language interpreter present at meetings. The office environment should also be quiet, simply because deaf people are very sensitive, and vibrations like people, hammering something into a wall, it can cause a deaf person not to concentrate properly, and they can even feel irritated when there is so much vibration. So the office should really be a quiet environment, and they should be free to communicate in order for them to also perform at their best at work without barriers. I attended a school for the deaf growing up, and I was taught there to lip read, and that is why I'm able to lip read. I can lip read English, however, I don't understand it 100%. If there's another deaf person, I can, and that person is English, for example, I can sign, because sign language is the same, whether Afrikaans or English. I don't believe in barriers. Barriers are people, and they need to be educated. As soon as they are educated and they know how to treat deaf people, then there will not be barriers. And I strongly believe that. Deaf people don't listen with their ears, they listen with their eyes.
Ho bonala go kgethollo e ntse e le ngata, especially the misconceptions also tse leng batho ba na le tsona. Taba ena ya hore banane hore batho ba deaf ha ba kgone ho bala, ha ba kgone ho ithuta, ha ba kgone ho tsamaya sekolo. Lona as family ha ne a ntse a hola, especially ana le menyane, a soka eba ausiona a confident a kgonang ho di shebela kwana taba tse tjena, ne le mo thusa jwang hore a kgone hore a be strong, ebe ngwana a batlang ho hola a ntse a itwanela?
Ge a ntse a gola, remember ge something is really new to community, maybe ba around gore okay fine, they get to learn gore Kagiso ke ngwana le gore o deaf a kgone go utlwela. they adjusted okay le bona they will find a way ya gore ba mmuisa bjang, and then le ena from go bona gore okay batho ba try go ke kgone go communicate le bona. She got encouraged gore okay nka kgona go dira se nka kgona go dira le sele. Le rena ko gae ne re mmotsa gore ntho ngwe le ngwe nya ka go ba yona mo bophelong o ka ba yona as long as you stick to your goals. The fact that gore wena o deaf and rena ka moka re a utlwa, it shouldn't be something e le gore e standing block for wena. Whatever it is that she wants to achieve, we're there to help her all the way.
And so Kagiso, what e ko inserting ya hao hona le ntho engwe o buileng ka yona ware ka nako engwe la o feta strateng ba re oh cool, she's beautiful but dumb. Dintho tse jwalo o nahana di etswa batho ba etswa ke eng gore ba nahane jwalo hore motho e le reng o deaf o domo hana kelello ha ona bohlale a nang le bona?
So some people are like, deaf people, they can't do anything. Yes, Kemotle, I'm beautiful, but I'm as equal as any hearing person, okay? And I'm proud of my beauty. And I'm proud of the fact that I've got skill, I've got knowledge, I've got hands. I can communicate. It's not that difficult. It's just that some people have the attitude that is wrong. And I am confident in who I am. And I know that I am on par as most hearing people. And I'm here to represent deaf people and say, you know what, deaf people can do anything. We can write, we've got good education, we can drive. We are as equal and as capable as any hearing people or hearing person is.
How bua ka go khanna tjena o na le driver's license ona jwale, and of course nna le nna he ke na le driver's license yaka, and ka koloing yaka ho ba le dintho tse le reng di ba adaptive hore ke kgone go khanna, more especially ke sebedisa automatic haholo. Wena ke di eng tse o di entseng bophelong ba hao hore o kgone go adapta to the driving low driver mo tseleng?
So what I normally use, right? I use the mirrors. I use all mirrors to make sure that I can see everything that is happening around the car. So whenever I am driving, I also use an automatic at times or even manual, but I mostly use my eyes to see everything that is happening. So even when people hoot, right, I would just use the lights. I use flashing lights so that people can see that here I'm about to move. Either way, when I'm actually driving. You see, so I normally use my indicators, my lights, and my mirrors so that I'm able to navigate myself when I'm driving.
Ehlile wa bontsha hore ha ona ntho e hlolang motho ha fela a ikemiseditse a batla lo phela bophelo ba bohae. Ha re khutla re tla bua haholo ka puisano le puo ka hara batho ba sa utlwing ditsebeng. Re tla be hape re na le Natasha Maliko e leng lecturer mane Wits. Wits yona ke engwe ya di-university tse kenyeleditseng di-interpreter ho tse ding tsa dithuto tsa bona. Re bua ka tsohle tse amang batho ba sa utlwing ditsebeng. Hona jwale re ikopanya le Natasha Maliko ya sebetsang Wits Graduate School for Translators and Interpreters. Welcome to the show, Natasha.
Thank you, Raina.
Natasha, there are 4 categories to recognize with when it comes to persons that are deaf. Why is it important for one to recognize themselves within one of them?
I think you need to look at a spectrum. So rather, because within those 4 categories, you still have differences. You still have people that is unique in those 4 categories. So when we speak about being deaf, we want to move across the spectrum and allow people to identify themselves within that fluidity of being able to express themselves being deaf or whichever category they feel comfortable with.
Well, the people that can sign actually speak the same language and they understand each other within their group. However, they come from different cultures. And how does that now, being now also adopting the culture of signing, which is just one, and also impacting into the groups that they come from, which are different groups of families?
Deaf culture is an identity journey. It's where deaf people identify themselves along that spectrum we spoke about before. So it's not really that because I'm from a isiZulu family, I don't identify, for example, with Mshado. Like if I, as a deaf person, have to go to a wedding, I know the rituals that must be performed. It's just that my access is through a specific language and not so much culturally bound, but more linguistically bound.
And if it becomes an official language in South Africa, how would that change?
I want to be cautious in responding to that question because what we are currently saying is that sign language is not fully developed. And there's a specific group that says, no, well, you need the resources to develop it. So when you look at the area of language planning and development, if you have resources, dedicated resources from a government, you then give the option of a language to actually be developed, to develop deaf epistemologies, to develop the linguistic side of sign language, as well as give input into research to actually validate that sign language is on par with spoken languages, and so everything else that goes with sign language.
And as Batuba Kuntlum, Luna, what do you think as Batswadi, hangwana asha especially elore o thola o deaf, hore Batswadi le bona ba kgone ho tseba ho signa, ke di eng tso bona hore di a lekanyana?
As batswadi, we also need to try to learn, because like there are booklets we can learn from and everything. But the thing is, we already used to having to sign I would say is our own way of communicating, but I think we need to learn more so that we can also be able to sign with other people who are not Kagiso, but are also deaf. With me, because my name is quite simple, she will say it out like Mpo, and then I will hear her say, or she's calling me. But with my brother, I have my younger brother. I know if we talking about my younger brother, he'll go like this because my brother has beard. Okay. And then I will understand who she's talking about. And everybody else has their own name that she will communicate with. And that's how we communicate. Everything else becomes easy for us to communicate.
We look at your features. We say the brother's got only beard, and then Motomuso only patla only this most fatlehong. So lenna ke nna kagiso because obviously ke na le ntho mo molomong.
Natasha, again, when it comes to the matter of sign language being on par with spoken language, is it necessarily for the basis of interpretation of sign language and spoken language?
When we look back at it, it's not a basis of interpretation. Each language evolves naturally, develops naturally. At the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves, why are we using a language? We are using a language to communicate. So even if you're using a phrase or one sign or one word and a phrase in sign language, it's still getting to the end means. We are communicating a message. For example, if there's new technologies coming on board and there's a word being developed for it, what we're saying, there should be a parallel process for sign languages to also develop a sign and not borrow that sign from a spoken language.
How does then sign language develop within different areas? Are there situations where, just like with spoken language, where in a certain area you'd speak a certain way, you'd have certain words that you use or slang words? So
there's specific signs that you would use that you would not use in other settings. If I'm just going to an informal birthday party, I would not use the same signs that I'm using in a lecture room. So yes, we do have differences in register and the way we express certain signs, yes.
And the problem that everyone now is coming across with when they go to higher education, most higher educations that do not provide for an interpreter, and what is the problem there and how is that now being addressed?
South Africa as a country has signed the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And in one of the articles, it clearly says that there needs to be access through a professionally trained sign language interpreter. So the onus then rests upon higher institutions to provide qualified interpreters. If I decide to study physics, is there a qualified interpreter that would be able to bring me into class, give me the same interaction level as other students have? So there's always this debate. Yes, higher institutions are supposed to give interpreters by law to any deaf student to access higher education. But then the question remains, do we have interpreters that can actually function at that level?
I think the issues are not as easy as we think they are. However, it doesn't mean hore jwale ho tlamehile re di tshwarelle morao ho ske wa ba le tswelopele. Re haile hanyane fela puisano dibakeng tsa batho ba sa utlwing ditsebeng. The discussion today is a human rights issue and not just a language issue. Share your thoughts on our social media pages so we can take the conversation further. Join us again on SABC2, You Belong. Till next time, I am Reina Moloi and we talk ability.